ground Speedbird 49 Echo, Tower 1, request push and start.
Speedbird 49 Echo, stand 511, push and start approved, face north.
Push start approved, facing north, Speedbird 49 Echo.
KLM 2009 taxi, hold Sierra Bravo 3.
Hold Sierra Bravo 3.
Heathrow ground, good afternoon, Speedbird 44 November, requesting radio check.
Speedbird 44 November, Heathrow ground, hello 5.
Availability 5, thanks, and Speedbird 44 November, we're on stand 533, type 747 with information Papa, QNH 1026, requesting clearance to San Diego, please.
Standby break, Speedbird 285, contact Heathrow Tower 118.5.
118.5, Speedbird 285, bye-bye.
Speedbird 44 November, code San Francisco, Mach 1 Foxtrot, Squawk 0322.
Okay, we're cleared to San Diego on the Mach 1 Foxtrot and we'll Squawk 0322, Speedbird 44 November.
Speedbird 44 November, correction, Speedbird 44 November, read correct.
Ground 336 Papa Tango, is this the right place for the clearance?
Standby break, KLM 2009, contact Heathrow Tower 118.5.
Tower 118.5. KLM 239.
Switch 36 Papa Tango, say again.
Is this the frequency for the clearance? We would like to request clearance.
Excellent.
Roger 36 Papa Tango, gate 220, request IFR clearance to Zurich, Airbus 321, on board we have information Papa.
Switch 36 Papa Tango, Roger, cleared Zurich, max at 1 Foxtrot, Squawk 7501, QNH 1026.
Max at 1 Foxtrot, cleared to Zurich 7516, with 36 Papa Tango.
Switch 36 Papa Tango, just confirm Squawk 7501.
7501 and QNH 1026, sorry about that, so 36 Papa Tango.
Switch 36 Papa Tango, correct.
Steering for the Echo Golf on block 5 for Console.
Bye.
KLM 10000 requesting push and start from stand 417.
KLM 1000, Squawk 7734.
Squawk 7734, KLM 1000.
Skyways 299, gate 313, requesting push and start.
Skyways 299, stand 313, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, Skyways 299.
KLM 1000, stand 417, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, facing north, KLM 1000.
And Heathrow ground, Speedbird 44 November, stand 532, we're also ready for push and start.
Speed 44 November, say again.
Speedbird 44 November, stand 533, requesting push and start, please.
Speed 44 November, stand 533, push and crash start 533, push start through face north.
Okay, push start through facing north, Speedbird 44 November.
Heathrow ground. Good afternoon, Delta 2 radio check.
Delta 2 Heathrow 5.
Delta 2 information pop-up, Bravo 763, stand 233, request push and start.
Delta 2 stand 233, push and start approved, face north.
Push and start approved, facing north for Delta 2.
Hello everybody and welcome back. Shorter video today, and we're heading from Heathrow,
Taxi Alpha, hold please.
Terminal 5A to Vienna in Austria. We're pretty much ready to go. Everything's in the MCDU. Just add the performance data. Call signs Speedbird 548, and Heathrow being busy, we've been given a clearance already via text on vPilot by the controllers. 5.8 tons of fuel to be burnt today. It would help actually if we actually had fuel in the aircraft.
Ground 3 Swiss 36 Papa Tango, ready for push and start.
So 36 Papa Tango, stand 220, push and start approved, face south.
Push and start approved, face south. Swiss 36 Papa Tango.
It's 5.8 blocks of fuel. It's probably 43% or so, but they don't make this easy to select. That's probably as close as we can get realistically. RLS frequency for runway 16 is pre-programmed in for Vienna. Not quite sure what the rudder pedal's doing. Try and ignore those.
Ground 3 Swiss 36 Papa Tango, confirm face south.
Bayfam, you can't face north because there's a construction area there.
Now, he should be going.
We will cancel push and start again. We'll come back with the new request soon. Swiss 36 Papa Tango.
Kevin 2009, contact Heathrow Tower 118.5.
Hello Callum, hey Dom, hey Kevin, nice to see you tuning in again. Welcome A. Edwards. We've already got our clearance, and one thing I do need to actually add is our squawk code that we've been given, 0205. They've had a controller change in the meantime whilst I've been setting up, so they might change it. And he also might want us to actually get clearance again.
Good afternoon, United Airlines 616,
it's quite busy.
Boeing 789 at 218 left, with information pop-up, ready to copy IFR clearance, please.
United 616 Heathrow ground hello, can you just say again the aircraft type and stand?
Boeing 789, stand 218 left.
United 616, thank you to information pop-up, cleared Dublin, crash and Compton, 3 Foxtrot departure.
So we're live on VATSIM, for those of you who aren't familiar with it.
Roger.
Which is why they've, it sounds like air traffic control.
Charlie Papa Tango, 3 Foxtrot departure, runway 27 right, QNH 1026, squawk.
Squawk 5661.
Roger, squawk 5661, United Airlines 616.
Yeah, this is one, Christian United 616, correct. Speedbird 49 Echo, contact Heathrow Tower 118.5.
118 target by Speedbird 49 Echo. Heathrow ground, good afternoon, Speedbird 466 with a message there.
Pass the message.
Afternoon, shout.
Sir, I
welcome.
was given my IFR clearance, given a squawk of 7244, but my SIM crashed, so I've come back in. Would you like me to change my squawk?
Yeah, Speedbird 466, your squawk has reset, is squawk 3432, and this is the GOG C2 Foxtrot departure.
Yeah, GOG C2 Foxtrot departure 3432. Thank you, sir. Speedbird 466.
Correct, and report with it.
Heathrow ground, good afternoon, Speedbird 548, stand 507, cleared with a PDC, request push start.
2 stations blocked, Kevin 1000.
KLM 1000, requesting taxi to runway 27 right.
This kid has been on for ages
KLM
now.
1000, taxi, holding point Sierra Bravo 3.
Taxi to
Hopefully you caught my call sign.
Bravo 3, KLM 1000.
And the Speedbird's calling for code Sega.
This is Speedbird 548, good afternoon. We stand 507 Airbus A320 Neo with a PDC. Information Papa, request push start.
Speedbird 448, roger, stand 507, push and still approved, face north.
Push start approved, face north, Speedbird 548. Okay, let's go.
Heathrow ground, Sky 209, request taxi.
Taxi to 27 right.
Beacon, APU bleeds on, cross feeds on. That all looks good, and let's kick off. Pushback.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead, flight deck. We are ready for
Okay, well, taxi by Bravo and we'll hold Titan for Speedbird 44 November.
Ground 36 with 36 Papa Tango, ready for push and start, gate 220.
Right, Bravo, Echo, hold.
Afternoon and human reactions, welcome. Testing the new flight control configuration file from that QA chat.
Skyways 299, taxi right Bravo, Echo, hold Echo 2.
Right, Bravo, Echo, Echo 2, Skyways 299.
It's told us to push start facing north, so
with 36
the tail's going to go right from our point of view now.
Gate 220.
This is 36 Papa Tango, stand 220, push and start approved, face south.
Push and start approved, face south, 36 Papa Tango.
Ground, good afternoon, Speedbird 9 Charlie Golf, information
out to the FADEX,
747,
and engine 2 start.
Stand 543, requesting clearance outside.
We should have chrono started as well to time the engine start as well.
Speedbird 9 Charlie Golf, Heathrow ground, located Phoenix, Compton 3 Foxtrot, Squawk, 2174.
Well, that's worrying.
Compton 3 Foxtrot, Squawk 2174, Speedbird 9 Charlie Golf.
Speedbird 9 Charlie Golf, negative, Compton 3 Foxtrot.
Compton 3 Foxtrot, Speedbird 9 Charlie Golf.
Thank you.
We're going to have to do this the old school way, I think. Pushback Express has suddenly stopped working, so now I can't turn. I can turn one way, but oddly not the other.
KLM 1000 holding point Sierra Bravo 3.
KLM 1000, contact Heathrow Tower.
Yeah, the servers are really slow. I hope this will turn now.
Say again, KLM 1000.
KLM 1000, contact Heathrow Tower 118.5.
Over to tower on 118.75, KLM 1000.
Negative, tower 118.5.
Over to tower 118.5, KLM 1000.
Okay, so we've got some issues. Hey Rob, welcome. Our Pushback Express is broken, so we're having all manner of problems. For the first time I've had this issue actually, so I'm not really sure what the hell is going on. Heathrow ground, Speedbird 548.
Speedbird 548, Heathrow got the parts missed.
Apologies, my pushback program's broken. Can I push back straight?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you, apologies.
130 radio check.
Air India 130, Heathrow ground, hello 5.
So just make sure he was happy with that before I commit to it. And that'll do us, I think, so we don't commit too far back.
Go with 229 after the British Airways 747 passes left, right and Bravo, taxi, Echo, right Alpha, hold Pluto.
After 747 passes from left to right, Echo to Alpha,
I'm going to have to
And skeleton line confirm.
See what was the problem there, because it suggests to me the rudder might be broken on one element of it. Anyway, engine 1 is available as well. Engine mode to normal, APU bleed off, master off, crossfeed off, and we need our taxi instructions. Whilst we do that, we'll start that safety demonstration. Speedbird 548 ready for taxi.
Lima Charlie 112, please stop pressing your push torque key brake as a Speedbird to call for taxi.
Speedbird 548 ready for taxi.
Speedbird 548, taxi Alpha, hold Pluto.
Taxi Alpha, hold Pluto, Speedbird 548.
Delta 2 is ready for taxi.
Delta 2, taxi right Alpha, hold correction, taxi right Bravo, hold Titan.
Right Bravo, hold Titan, Delta 2.
So that's the best we could do with the upbraking.
Papa Tango is ready to
It happens.
So 36 Papa Tango, taxi
Yeah.
left Bravo,
Abdul, welcome back.
Titan.
What is going on with this? I'm not doing anything at the moment.
36 Papa Tango.
So we are testing a file at the moment. We are trying out a new flight configuration. If it keeps doing this though, then it's not going. It's going to be interesting.
Can you taxi left onto Alpha to hold Saturn?
Make sure that's coming.
Left Alpha,
Lovely.
hold Saturn, 36 Papa Tango, yes we can.
Right, so it's just constantly wanting to steer right, left for some reason.
Split 44 November, give way to the Delta 767. They'll be coming out of Kilo to go back to Bravo.
Roger. We'll give way for the Delta 76 and transfer Speedbird 447.
I mean, that was full left rudder. So I'm going to do something that's full right rudder, sorry. It's not particularly appreciated on VATSIM, but if I can do this quickly. Because I don't know what the hell is going on with this. Just quickly refresh those, and I'm going to put dead zones to 40, I think.
Your crew will now point out the exits nearest to you.
And it still wants to go left. So whoever's created this file is broken. What worries me though is we're going to have issues once we take off. The aircraft's going to constantly want right. Let's see what it does here. So I'm going to neutral the rudder. Brilliant. That's no good, is it?
Heathrow ground, United 616, ready to push and start, please.
616, stand 218, push and start through, face south.
This is going to be interesting.
Push and start approved, face south, United 616.
Delta 2, contact T for a tower 18.5.
As the file changes, the way changes the way that the aircraft is configured for the flight model, basically. But two guys have tested it already, and they're suggesting that there's nothing wrong, but this suggests to me that there's something very wrong with it. So the file appears to be broken. I'm not really sure what's going to happen actually when we take off, to be honest. But I'm just going on to the QA chat at the moment. 2023, this is test.
Remember Charlie 112 negative, you're not requested your IFR clearance. Swiss 36 Papa Tango, contact T for a tower 118.5.
118.5, Swiss 36 Papa Tango.
Heathrow ground, Speedbird 4.
Well, it's going to be a test because I've actually got my rudder
466, stand 5 on
halfway to the right, as far right as it will go, just to keep straight.
Thank you, sir. Speedbird 466.
Heathrow Ground, Shuttle 8 Tango, stand 508, Airbus A320, with information Papa requesting push and start.
Shuttle 8 Tango, stand 508, push and start approved, face south.
So we've been told to taxi to Pluto, which is sort of where that aircraft is up ahead.
Link 55, Speedbird 8 Shuttle, correction,
Not quite sure what the hell that was coming in.
Shuttle 8 Tango negative, stand 508, push start approved, face
Rob, the FLAI models are going well, but there are a few issues, like the aircraft that's on finals there. It bugs out a little bit on approach with the lights.
Speedbird 458, contact you for a cyber 118.5.
Contact tower 118.5, thank you, Speedbird 548, bye.
KLM 1000, are you ready for departure?
KLM 1000 is ready for departure.
KLM 1000, thanks.
That's
Alpha 1 line up and
V
wait,
rotated
144.
144 and
via Alpha
152
1
for
line from wait on runway 27 right, KLM 1000.
VR, sorry, 144 for V1. Loads of aircraft all lining up there.
Shamrock 3 Kilo Mike, expect a late landing clearance.
Expect late landing clear in Shamrock 3 Kilo Mike.
God, it really wants to steer left. So sometimes when it's like this and I'm trying to sort of do a bit of content for you guys, it's a little bit frustrating when the tests aren't working. However, I suppose it makes it a little interesting. Nothing's ever too easy, is it? Heathrow Tower, Speedbird 548 at Pluto, ready for departure.
Roger, KLM 1000 with no delay, 27 right, clear takeoff, wind 280 at 6.
Clear to take off, runway 27 right, KLM 1000.
He said no delay, so...
Swiss 36 Papa Tango behind the landing Aer Lingus A320, actually sorry, disregard, hold Alpha 1.
Say again, for Swiss 36 Papa Tango?
Swiss 36 Papa Tango, hold Alpha 1.
Holding Alpha 1, Swiss 36 Papa Tango.
Speedbird 548 to confirm you're ready from Alpha 5.
Yeah, I could do Alpha 5, Speedbird 548.
Speedbird 548, thanks, hold Alpha 5.
Hold Alpha 5, Speedbird 548. It's interestingly, I get a very good steer to the left.
Contact London 135.8.
Almost on a pin.
135.8, Sky 299.
Off goes the Transavia 737. And he's told us to hold here, so we're getting a shorter departure via Alpha 5.
Shamrock 3 Kilo Mike, wind 280 at 6, 27 right, clear to land.
27 right, clear to land, Shamrock 3 Kilo Mike.
And that'll have been a very late landing clearance, I think.
Landing Aer Lingus A320 via Alpha 2, line up 27 right behind.
So that's the bug with the FLAI stuff at the moment.
Behind Delta 2.
Nice to see some Air India and bits as well.
KLM 1000, squawk mode Charlie.
Squawk mode Charlie, KLM 1000.
KLM 1000, thanks, contact London 135.8.
Be our next frequency.
Contact London on 135.8, KLM 1000.
Shamrock 3 Kilo Mike vacated.
Shamrock 3 Kilo Mike, thanks, right on Alpha, contact ground 121.8. Correction, that's wrong, 121.7. 1217, my bad.
1217, Shamrock 3 Kilo Mike.
Delta 2, surface wind 280 at 6, runway 27 right, clear take. Clear for takeoff, 27 right, Delta 2.
Heathrow Tower, good afternoon, Speedbird 847, ILS 7 left.
Speedbird 847, Heathrow Tower, continue approach, runway 27 left.
I hope it doesn't veer us off to the left. I can neutralise the rudder input by going hard right, so I'm hoping we'll be okay, but turning right will be an issue, potentially. If you're new to the channel, make sure you click subscribe down below. We'll be getting our departure clearance very soon. Looks like they've gone to twin runway operations again, so it's just a...
West 36 Papa Tango behind the departing Delta 767 via Alpha 1, line up 27 right behind.
Effectively managing all these departures here around us.
Speedbird 44 November behind the departing Swiss A321 via Alpha 2, line up 27 right behind.
I'm not sure if the longitude's flyable actually.
A321 via Alpha 2 will line up on runway 27 right behind Speedbird 44 November.
Speedbird 847 contact, disregard actually, runway 27 left, clear to land, surface wind 280 at 6.
Clear to land, 27 left, Speedbird 847.
You have been subscribed for ages. You can stay subscribed. So Delta's up, 767-400. I'm not quite sure why there's a Brussels paint scheme there though, because it was actually Swiss, I think, was that the guy's call sign. And yep, a 747-400.
Contact London Control 135.8. London Control 135.8, happy day. Swiss 36 Papa Tango, runway 27 right, clear takeoff, surface wind 280.
I'll stick that on auto. We can't do much more. Until we get clearance.
Heathrow Tower, a very good afternoon. KLM 1009, fully established ILS 27 left, maintaining 160 until 4.
KLM 1009, thank you very much. Continue approach runway 27 left.
Proceed approach from 27 left, KLM 1009.
Speedbird 548 behind the departing company 747 by Alpha 5, line up 27 right behind.
Behind the departing company 747, line up behind Speedbird 548. Emphasis on the behind, so we're going to watch the 747-400 take off, and then we're going to line up behind him basically. I might as well stick them on now. That's all good. Our takeoff configuration checklist
36 Papa Tango, contact London Control
is ready.
135.8.
135.8, happy Sunday, 636 Papa Tango.
And then we'll just click the chrono.
Speedbird 44 November, runway 27 right, clear takeoff, surface wind 270 degrees 6 knots.
Clear to take off 27 right, Speedbird 44 November, thank you.
I think he's off to Seattle from what I was listening to earlier. Nice to see a 747-400 in the sim. With AI. I'm getting anxious about this takeoff, knowing that there's a real
847 taxi
problem.
Alpha, contact Heathrow ground 121.7.
Left on Alpha and ground on 121.7. 847, bye-bye.
Sadly, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Heathrow Tower, Speedbird 466, good afternoon with you, approaching Titan.
Speedbird 466, Heathrow, left
Okay, let's
Lima,
creep.
right Alpha, hold Alpha 4.
Hold Alpha 4, sir, Speedbird 466.
All of that on. And I'll go to exterior view so we can sort of see him depart as well.
KLM 1009, surface wind 270 degrees 6 knots, runway 27 left, clear to land, vacate left.
Clear to land, runway 27 left, KLM 1009, vacate left, KLM 1009.
Speedbird 466, via Alpha 4, line up 27 right.
It definitely doesn't handle the same with this new configuration file. It is not nice.
Speedbird 466.
Speedbird 44 November, contact London Control 135.8.
I mean, that was full right rudder then.
135.8 for Speedbird 44
It was barely
November.
moving.
Thank you, goodbye.
Speedbird 548, surface wind 270 at 6, 27 right, clear takeoff.
Clear takeoff 27 right, Speedbird 548. Here we go. Let's see how broken this is. flex, that's thrust set, and I've got 30% right rudder now. Just try and keep it on the centre line. Okay, that's if I centre the stick, which is not great. So V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up.
Speedbird 466, surface wind 270 degrees, 6 knots, 27 right, clear takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 27 right, Speedbird 466.
United 616, Heathrow Tower.
Graphics are awesome on this.
1009, welcome Heathrow, left Sierra, ground 121.7.
Make sure I'm in the climb gate.
7. Thanks for the help. Okay, now 1009, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
United 616, holding at tight.
United 616, taxi link to, correction, taxi left Alpha, hold Alpha 3.
Okay.
Taxi left Alpha, hold Alpha 3.
This is
United
not a good
Speedbird 548,
test.
contact London 135.8.
135.8, Speedbird 548, thank you, bye.
Bye.
So, a lot of it is not working very well for this latest update. The auto throttle's playing up as well.
Let's see if we have a constraint now up to flight level 100. Sorry about this 36 Papa Tango.
This 36 Papa Tango, no worry, when I give you a climb you don't need
But hey,
to follow
this is what testing is all about.
Roger, thanks for the advice. 36 Papa Tango.
London Centre, good afternoon, Speedbird 548. Declan 2 Foxtrot, departure, climbing through 2,500.
548, London Control, hello, climb now, flight level 180.
Climb now, flight level 180, Speedbird 548.
London Control, good afternoon, Speedbird 466, Gotham 1 Foxtrot, 1,500.
466, London Control, hello, climb now, flight level 100.
Climb to 100, Speedbird 466.
So that's 4,700.
Control, good afternoon, Runway 3154, it's currently at 4,000 feet.
Delta 2, Monitor Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
So I can see how offset the rudders are. That's autopilot.
214, turn right, heading 150 degrees.
Right,
That's not great.
Flyer 23, exiting no further ATC, Monitor Unicom.
Not a great addition to the file. This won't be in the master. If it's like this, it will fail the testing basically. So don't worry, you guys won't need to fly this.
Book my Charlie Ryan 3154.
Thank you, Philbert.
466, fly heading 240 degrees.
Heading 240, Speedbird 466.
So turning left at EPM, Epsom.
Descent flight level 80.
Flight level 80, Speedbird 226.
Speedbird 214, descent flight level 80.
Descent flight level 80, Speedbird 214.
Emirates 47 Lima, descent to altitude 3,000 feet.
Landing is going to be interesting.
Runway 3154, we have now turned on Book my Charlie.
Ryanair 3154 London, thank you. You can climb now, flight level 140.
Climb flight level 140,
Very washed out outside. London over in the distance.
November 728 Lima Lima, no further ATC, Monitor Unicom 122.8.
Monitoring Unicom on 122.8.
344 November, Monitor Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
12 Unicom 122, that's right. Speedbird 44 November, thank you, bye.
Speedbird 1750, descent, flight level 80.
No problem at all, Philbert. Keep your eyes open. There will be a big update in the next few weeks with FLAI related stuff as well, which is everything that we're seeing today, by the way. A little sneak peek, if you like. But I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Contact Heathrow Director 119.725.
119.725.
36 Papa Tango, climb flight level 170.
Climb flight level 170, Swiss 36 Papa Tango.
1358 is our current channel, that's London Centre Main. Cool, and then I think we'll be going to Unicom for a little while.
Speedbird 214, resume on navigation direct to Boltington, Bravo, November.
Resume navigation, direct to Bravo, November. Speedbird 214, have you?
Speedbird 466, resume on navigation direct
that
to
looks
Southampton,
like
Sierra Alpha Mike, climb flight level 150.
Does that look level again?
Still navigation, Sierra Alpha Mike 150, Speedbird 466.
I'm not sure. I'll take a screenshot of it very quickly, just so I can put it onto the QA testers bits.
414 Lima, descent to flight level 90.
Oh, the takeoff wasn't as difficult as I expected.
Swift 36 Papa Tango, contact London Control, frequency 129.425.
129.425, happy Sunday, Swiss 36 Papa Tango.
Emirates 47 Lima, turn left, heading 290 degrees, on that heading cleared ILS, runway 26 left.
Thanks, 290, cleared ILS.
Speedbird 1750, turn right, heading 340 degrees.
Right, heading 340, Speedbird 1750.
London, good afternoon. Speedbird 14 Kilo, descending level 140, Paddock 1 Hotel.
Speedbird 14 Kilo, London Control, hello, descent to flight level 110.
Speedbird 14 Kilo, descending 110. London Control, hello, Speedbird 2
London Control, frequency 139.425. Speedbird 466, contact London 129.425, bye.
129.425, thank you sir, Speedbird 466.
London, United 616 at 3500.
Rhino 3154, route direct to Abton.
Route direct Abton, Rhino 3154.
Speedbird 214, contact Heathrow Director 119.725, bye-bye.
Heathrow Director 119.725.
Should we get an additional climb?
Speedbird 214 heavy, bye-bye.
London, United 616 at 4000.
United 616, London Control, roger. Break rate Speedbird 548, contact London, frequency 129.425.
129.425 for Speedbird 548, thank you, bye.
Speedbird 1750, descend to altitude 3000 feet to Gatwick, QNH 10.
129.425.
QNH 1026, descend to altitude 6000 feet, Speedbird 1750.
Okay, I'm 996.
Switched. London Centre, good afternoon, Speedbird 548 inbound, Detling, flight level 180.
Speedbird 58, under control, roger, redirect Coxie, climb flight level 370.
Redirect Coxie and climb flight level 370, Speedbird 548. Let's see, it's just giving us a couple of things to do. Just going to put it in vertical speed mode, so otherwise open climb will take over. And we want direct Coxie. There we go. And we've got our top of climb marker there for 370. And I'm just writing up some issues on the QA tester bits on GitHub. Testing technique. Got wrist ache from applying too much rudder. One. AP was engaged.
Easy 8 Whiskey Delta, no further ATC, Martina, go 1TT decimal, good day. 128 Easy 8 Whiskey Delta, bye bye. Tomjet 2771, no further ATC, Martina, come 1TT decimal, set on.
1228, thanks a lot, bye bye.
So we've been testing. So I've just realised I've missed quite a bit on the old chat. Rob, thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
3154 is currently flight level 140.
Top of descent is being worked on. I was testing something the other day, so it gets a rough calculation on the nav display.
Right, 3154 with a control roger, climb flight level 210.
Climb flight level 210, runway 3154.
And I was testing that 2 days ago on the flight back from Amsterdam, I think it was, maybe yesterday's live stream as well. I think I've done about 3 tests with that.
Papa Tango, no further ATC, Martina, come 1TT decimal 8, good day.
122 decimal 8, happy Sunday, so 36 Papa Tango.
So we've got a flight time of about an hour or so to go, maybe 45 minutes or so to go. But we've also now got fuel prediction page that's been re-updated and things like that as well. It's a dynamic page, so you can see there we've got a steep climb. But if we reduce the climb and therefore reduce the engine output requirement, let's see, when will this come down?
KLM 9926, no further ATC, Martina, come 1TT decimal 8, good day.
12.8, thanks for the service, and have a
1,000 foot per minute climb.
32.
That M1's coming down, so therefore we should be a little bit more efficient. You can see that we're going to land at Vienna with 1.3 tonnes of fuel. And if we have to divert to Salzburg, we will land there with only 0.2 tonnes of fuel left, so that's really short, to be fair.
3154, turn left heading 110 degrees.
Turn left heading 110 degrees, runway 3154.
Good 508, fly heading 100 degrees.
No, I've got free airports. The Heathrow one is part of the Premium Deluxe Edition, and Vienna is just a normal...
Speedbird 548, fly heading 100 degrees.
Fly heading 100 degrees, Speedbird 548. And the issue we've got is it's an auto-generated airport. Geneva, was it Geneva I think I went to? Geneva is a massive mess.
Climb level 350.
Climb flight level 350, Ryanair 3154.
It's not been laid out very well by AutoGen. There's no gates. The gates don't line up with the aircraft properly. The taxiways are really bumpy. So Geneva's not great to fly to. Vienna's not too bad.
Hello, British 2767, flight level 190, inbound Boris.
British 2767, London, good afternoon, Vassex 1 Golf arrival. When ready, descend flight level 130, level by altitude.
Vassex 1 Golf, and when ready, descend flight level 130 by altitude, British 2767.
I try to use as many freeware airports as I can.
3154, turn left heading 100 degrees.
So Gatwick, for example, that I go to a lot, is freeware. That's on flightsim.to. That's brilliant. Definitely worth downloading that one. I've also got ENGM, Oslo Airport as well, which again is on flightsim.to, and that's free. Really good sort of study level airport again. So I try to keep to as many free things as I can, because it can get expensive on a sim.
LX5110 body control, roger. Climb flight level 250.
Rob, are you using the new working title mod?
Apologies, I'm not sure why you have been coordinated then. Okay, roger. Descend flight level 7.0.
That's giving us 0.2 still.
Certified for 8, no further ATC, but ITD cab 122.8, good day.
122.8 for Speedbird 548, thanks for your services, have a good day.
Right, 3154, 1 ITD cab 122.8, good day.
So we will continue on our original track. Yeah, I'm the exact same. Initially, I asked for. I actually sent a thing off to UK 2000 asking them to complete Gatwick Airport as soon as I could, as soon as they could. Really, that was the big one for me. Their Bristol Airport is fantastic, but the I think they've been beaten by that guy on flightsim.to for Gatwick, because it is absolutely incredible. It's pretty much as it would be in real life as well, which is amazing, bearing in mind it's been a month and a half of work for him in creating this. So I take my hat off to him, and he's doing it for free as well, which is amazing. Rob, the mod, I think for the longitude, I think it's called Working Title, although I've not used it. I've seen it talked about quite a bit on Discord. I'm sure it's Working Title Mods or something like that, and they're doing similar to this A32NX project, making it study level. They're doing the same with the longitude. I was just wondering what was going on there, and it looks like the rudder pedal input is becoming a problem again. Where's that GitHub page? I'm not happy with this this testing file that I'm using. It is not good. It's had 2 recent reviews by people saying it's fine though, so I can't quite understand it. They're saying they had no issues or anything like that. So if I well, everything's balanced. Centre of gravity is within limits as well. So I'm just going to update this again. This is the beauty of being a QA tester, because we have to fly all of these files that we've been flying on. All of these videos that you guys have been tuning into and watching have all been test files where developers have been reprogramming the aircraft to try and get it more accurate to real life, and more away from the Asobo generic files from the sim. So occasionally, as we're seeing today, there are problems with the mod, or with the testing file that we're using rather, and this is before it goes into the master development version of the file. So it will go through testing, then it will go to the master if it's approved, then it will go to the stable version eventually. And if it's like this, then this sort of file will never get put into the dev version until it's fixed. But it does make for interesting VATSIM flights when your aircraft starts doing random things on the tower controller screen. But if it's ever it's really bad, I'll just disconnect from the network so that I'm not a problem to anybody else. Now, I've heard the CJ4 working title one is really, really good. Like Philbert was just saying, actually, I have heard it is exceptional, and it's sort of a similar progress to the A32NX. So, Philbert, the thing that we're doing at the minute, the test we're actually making at the moment, is to fix that problem. So a lot of the wing drop issues have been fixed, but it looks like it's then also caused this weird left bank thing. So perhaps maybe to counter the wing drop on 10% of flights where the wing drops to the right, he's edited the file so that maybe there's this weird whatever it's changed, it's caused this spasming sort of rudder issue, which hasn't gone away. I thought it was actually, it seemed to have stabilised below 10,000 feet. Once we've hit flight level 300 again, it's crept back in quite nastily. There's no icing on the aircraft. Now, is it the... Yeah, see, we can see that rudder, that pedal flickering ever so slightly. If I try and zoom in on that. So that definitely shouldn't be the case. But the guy's trying to fix the wing drop issue, so it is being worked on. That's what we're testing at the moment, and it will need tweaking further, and it will need a lot more testing before it makes it into the master. This one's labelled for extensive testing, so it's going to require most of the QA team to sort of run flights with it, in addition to the large number of A320neo pilots and A320 pilots that the project are working with as well. I'm just hoping that they can get the 747 and the 787 up to speed as much as this. I was reading yesterday on the Discord for what's it called? Hangar 9, I think it is, the 787 Dreamliner mod. It's pretty much ground to a halt from what I can read because of all of the files being locked behind digital write media encryption and things like that. So it's pretty much ended their project for them. So it looks like we're going to have to wait for Quality Wings to release a payware 787, and then everyone will have to buy it, which is a little bit frustrating because the whole reason why I purchased Premium Deluxe was for handcrafted Heathrow and the Dreamliner, and the Dreamliner is just it's difficult to fly because it doesn't work. Yeah, the rate of progress is insane. In 2 or 3 months we've got volumetric lights outside, we've got all of these switches here all working correctly, we've got fire test and all sorts of really cool stuff, desynced screens, and we've got pretty much a completely operational MCDU. So now, because we've taken off, engines have started, init B's not available, but the fuel prediction page is. The RadNav page has been reworked. I tested that yesterday, and we can see here I approved the test, and it's gone through into the latest master, which all the PRs are based on. So that's all gone in. And my favourite part is being able to select all of the ATIS information via here, which is amazing. I'm not sure if they've got tower control on, so let's stick that in and just see. Wait for the company message to pop up. Yeah, I did the back in September. I did the Gatwick to Dubai major event that Emirates Virtual Airlines were holding, but everybody could join in. So me and a mate flew us. We jumped into the sim and had a go as well, and it was almost impossible. We barely made it to Dubai, to be honest. So there we go. This is my favourite edition, and I had a real good run at testing this before it got released. And I did like a sneak preview video for this as well, actually, a little while ago. But we've got the ATIS information for Vienna already, and we can refresh that through the flight, but it gives us something to aim at. Yeah, JetBlue as well from America have tried to get slots for Heathrow, and they've been rejected, but they've been issued slots at Gatwick and Stansted, I think it is, and they're meant to be an amazing airline, so that's going to bring down the cost massively for flights across to New York, and it'll be direct competition with British Airways, Virgin, American Airlines, and the likes. Yeah, the fuel prediction updates, to get the most accurate reading out of it, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, you'd need to program your initial A page and then go into your flight plan and build your flight plan before you then go into init B, which we can't see now. Put in your 0 fuel weight, and then it will come up with a tab saying fuel planning. Click that and it will tell you exactly how much fuel you need for your flight, and it is absolutely accurate as well. It's really good. You should give it a go. You should give it a go. It is fun. The extra immersion is really good. I know they're trying to figure out a way at the moment to bring a little bit more immersion to us within this when we're on Unicom as we are now, because nothing's really happening. But there's no aircraft talking to each other. Euro West. I'm just going to have a quick look on one of these VATSIM maps, because potentially we're about to fly into some air traffic control coverage. There's Munich, there's Austria. Okay, possibly EDGG Centre. Who else? We've got, oh, that's Tower, isn't it? There's a lot of people online. The weekends are fantastic on VATSIM. Does it not have speed autopilot then, or anything like that, Rob? I must admit, I've not flown in the Cessna. I thought there would have been some sort of speed automation in it though. Especially as you say, it's a $27 million private jet. Squad, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a good day. Stay healthy. See you soon. And true, Phil, but I get caught out sometimes. Happened a little bit earlier as well, actually, where I was monitoring the live chat and trying to sort of like talk to you guys, and then I missed the controller and he sounded a little bit pissed. Didn't sound too happy. Oh, that is really odd. Oh, it's stuff like that that puts me off flying in those other aircraft. Oh, brilliant. So it just gives you a lot to work with and a lot to deal with then. If it's making you monitor the throttle the whole time, you may as well fly in a Cessna and sort of enjoy a little bit of GA flying. how far have we got to go? So one of the things they've got, we can see there we've got 320 miles on the nav display radius. Vienna is quite close to Vienna. But one thing they have got on the flight plan page is the dynamic countdown of the amount of miles that we have to run between each waypoint. So you can see that we've got 590 nautical miles to run now. I would love to do a long haul flight. I'd love to do Heathrow to New York or something like that, but in absence of... I want to do it on a long haul jet as well, like the 747 or the Dreamliner. In absence of those working properly though, it's not something that I really want to sort of do. I couldn't do sort of 10-12 hours sat at the sim though. I'm not sure how people would manage that on VATSIM. And I need to get my head around the whole oceanic procedure as well, with like the cell-cal text codes and things like that. Runway 16. What was on the MCDU? ATSU, AOC. Was it runway 16 in use? Or rather runway 16. Beautiful. So we've even got the correct runway sort of worked out, programmed into the MCDU ready as well. In the CJ4 working title mod, have they edited the what's it called? Have they changed the view? Because I did a landing challenge, the Jackson landing challenge in that the other day, and it was like this, trying to fly in. You just couldn't see anything. For those of you as well, just while I'm thinking about it, I was helping someone yesterday with issues with frames per second. One good tip is to just turn these first officer screens off. If you're not going to use them, turn them off so they don't have to refresh, and then you get a couple more frames out of that. Yeah, I couldn't... I mean, if I was going to do long haul, it would probably be the same method as yourself, Philbert. I'd probably go to bed between climb and descent as well. But you can't do that now with Oceanic, if they're being online more than usual. I might have to give that CJ4 another go. It's quite enjoyable when you're doing the landing challenges. But then I forget how low it is to the ground as well, so I was flaring for ages on one of the landing challenges. I had to do it a couple of times. But yeah, that default view, like you say, is absolutely awful in that. It's one of those things as well where if you keep flying the same aircraft over and over again, you get used to the quirks of so like the A32NX, you get used to the quirks of this in the sim with the mod. And then when you take yourself away from that and you put yourself in the CJ4 or the 747, it's like you're starting from scratch again, and you have to relearn the entire thing. And the Airbus is just easy. It's almost like a plug and play aircraft. For people beginning with the airliners as well, it's an absolute dream to fly. Nice. See, I've signed up to Fly UK Virtual Airways, and I've been flying with them since release day, and it's been really good. A lot more immersive. There's sort of a point to the flights that I'm doing as well, which is quite nice. But I've managed to get the promotion high enough now so that I can fly the Dreamliner in the sim and the 747-8. But I just, until they work properly, I'm not going to touch them. And I'd love to do like a flight all the way to Japan, Heathrow to Japan or something like that, something crazy. But one of my mates who tried that found that from about 60% of the way, whilst he was over Siberia, his RAM, all of his RAM, all his like VRAM and all the rest of it was just it'd been gobbled up. So he came back to a barely working sim, and then eventually it crashed about an hour later, crashed the desktop, and it just couldn't handle the really long flight. but the sim in itself is a work in progress, and they've been making okay progress, even if it is frustrating if the patches break things every now and again. I'd love to be able to get my head around the 747. I like the bigger jets. I think I'd struggle with the CJ4 because I'd probably fly it like the A320, but it's half the size and half as low. So I think I'd struggle with that. But lovely, EG Centre. So I think this is Bremen radar, Langen radar. 127725. I wasn't sure if I was going to touch his airspace, so I thought I'd just so we need to give him a little bit of information. Waypoint inbound, flight altitude, call sign things. Langen radar, Guten Abend, Speedbird 548, inbound Matug, flight level 370.
Speedbird 548, Langen radar identified.
Langen Delta Charlie Alpha Victor Hotel, flight level 110 direct taxi.
Delta Charlie Alpha Victor Hotel, Langen identified, climb flight level 230.
230, Delta Charlie Alpha Victor Hotel.
Langen radar, Guten Abend, Ryanair 3154, with you at flight level 350.
That is a shame if it doesn't. It's just a lot of work, isn't it? If you're changing flight levels or even hit turbulence, or the wind changes to a headwind,
Radar,
you're going to have to fiddle the throttle. And if you walk away for 10 minutes, you'll end up like coming back to it being a stall or something.
1318, Langen identified, climb level 370.
Yeah, if I knew.
Climb flight level 370.
Flight level 370.
If I knew, if I had access to the beta, and I knew the Dreamliner was going to be a problem, I wouldn't have even bothered getting Premium Deluxe.
Crossing flight level 209 for 230.
Air Link 18, Langen radar identified.
Langen radar, Ryanair 98, Zulu Zulu 350.
Ryanair 98, Foxtrot Zulu, Langen squawk 2072.
Talking to 070 for Ryanair 98 Zulu.
Delta 2621, contact arrival 120.8.
120, this is
Whilst we make our way, I'm just getting all of our charts ready for arrival.
Lufthansa 914, Langen Alloy identified, climb flight level 300.
300, Lufthansa 914.
Lufthansa 9 Mike Uniform, Monitor Unicom, bye bye.
Unicom 228, Lufthansa 9 Mike Uniform, bye.
So, let's see. Parking chart, taxi chart, Cat 3 ILS, runway 16, and star. So let's see if I can show you guys MS Edge, I think it was, wasn't it?
Lufthansa Cargo 8116, cleared KRAX 1 Alpha arrival.
KRAX 1 Alpha arrival, Lufthansa Cargo 816.
Lufthansa 1 Charlie, contact arrival 120.8.
So this is the star that we're expecting to fly.
Turkish 3 Echo Golf, direct to Marpig.
And someone asked me, why do I still use Microsoft Edge?
Langen radar, good evening. Lufthansa 5 Juliet Victor with you, passing flight level 115 for 130.
But Edge allows me to draw.
Victor, Langen Alloy identified, climb flight level 180.
Climb flight level 180, 5 Juliet Victor.
So we're flying in sort of this direction along the red line to Balad. And then we're going to fly the Balad 5 Lima arrival. And it takes us all the way around. It's quite an obscure arrival route, but it's the best one that fits the route. And then we're going to join this sort of weird pattern that takes us round and in.
Unicom Emirates 46, good evening.
Lufthansa 1318, squawk 2073.
God, he's made a mess of that one.
2073, Lufthansa.
Delete that.
Alpine 17 Uniform Mike, monitor Nikon, bye-bye.
Monitor Ground, Alpine 17
So,
Uniform Mike.
we can see here we've got a hold at Ballard of 8,000 feet if it's really busy, but I don't anticipate us having to use that. And then we can fly round as so there. We could have selected a Nurdu 6 Lima arrival, but this is the one that SimBrief told us to use, and seemed to fit the route a little bit better as well.
Austrian 3 Lima Echo descent, flight level 260, level at Norku.
And then if I go to the ILS charts, lots of data on here. It's Austrian charts, so they do look different to UK ones. Transition altitude of 10,000. That's when we change to the local QNH.
Next 21 Mike, contact Amsterdam radar on 125.750.
Amsterdam 12575, Channel 21 Mike, bye-bye.
The CJ4 mod is meant to be really, really good.
Ryanair 3154 request to step away from cockpit for about 2 minutes.
Approved.
So,
thank you.
We can see our ILS approach here, heading at 160 degrees.
Lufthansa 6 Papa Mike, Langenallo, identified, climb flight level 340.
And there is a final hold at Wagram, 5,000 feet, if it's busy.
Lange radar SR 902, guten Tag, with you flight level 350.
You can see the glide path takes us down the localizer path as well, it takes us down to the runway.
Langen identified, clear to roll list, 1
here.
Alpha, arrival, descent, flight level 250.
And if we have to go around, we follow the dotted line
1 Alpha and 250
for a missed approach. 10 DME away from the airport, turn left,
continue descent level 110, level at Kerak.
and then we fly to that Fisherman VOR at 1104. So, 1104, what we can do is prepare that in our RadNav page.
Lufthansa 94 Mike, identified, climb level 360.
360 Lufthansa 94 Mike.
I wonder if this will let us add this in here. No. So 1104, I'll remember that. So we can input that in later.
007, monitor Nikon, bye-bye.
If I quickly flip back to the charts, we can see here we'll be flying in, intercepting that ILS glide slope at about 5,000 feet apparently, and then it's a 3-degree glide slope down.
Lufthansa 93 Delta, Langenallo identified, climb flight level 290, proceed direct Ibini.
And there's our missed approach information there, climb to 5,000. So,
London radar, good afternoon, Lufthansa 228 with you on climb to flight level 130.
There can be a lot of data on the charts, but just take the bits you don't need out and simplify it, just look for what you need to know.
Lufthansa 228 climbing flight level 210.
Always prepare, especially if you're on VATSIM, always prepare for a missed approach, and that way if it happens, it doesn't surprise you. You've already prepared for it and you know what you need to do in that instant. That's another top tip for VATSIM. I am making use of my portable screen, yeah, thanks for recommending it for me to buy.
Request flight level 290, please.
Chrome doesn't let me draw, so I have to use Edge.
Request flight level 290 for
yep,
cruise.
very nearly 400 subscribers. So those of you who haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button. I'm on a target for 500 at the moment.
Lufthansa 228 request.
Lufthansa 228.
My PC specs,
I'll
write it into the chat because it's a bit easier.
But if there's later on a shortcut available, kindly let us know. Lufthansa 228.
Lufthansa 228, proceed direct EBD.
Wonderful. Proceeding direct to waypoint EBD, Lufthansa 228.
Right.
Auckland 3 Lima Echo, contact Amsterdam radar 125.750.
125.750, Auckland 3 Lima Echo, take a bye.
think that's all of it. If I've missed something in the spec, then let me know. And
request is cockpit for 10 minutes.
Approved.
thanks, James. Appreciate that. If you've got a similar setup, then let me know.
200 inbound.
I will have to, yeah, if I get to 500 subs, I'll have to do some sort of group flight.
Langen, hallo, identified, direct Kirax.
Kirax, Airplane 6 Alpha Juliet, danke.
Could even do it on VATSIM as well.
Langen radar, good evening, Lufthansa 4 Charlie, I'm passing flight 110.
Lufthansa 4 Charlie Romeo, Langen, hallo, identified, climb flight level 300.
Climb flight level 300, Lufthansa 4 Charlie Romeo.
Ryanair 22 Foxtrot Kilo Monitor Unicom, bye-bye.
Monitor Unicom, Ryanair 22.
So it looks like after this I've got some more testing to do with another file. I've just been messaged by some of the development team.
Contact Luxembourg approach 118.9.
Contact Luxembourg approach.
And they've potentially fixed a lot of the flight model, primary flight display information, speed bands, calculations for variable pitch and stall speeds, lots of stuff.
To B flight level 410.
Load 34 Langen identified.
Transavia 7 uniform at flight level 250.
Transavia 7 uniform Langen, hello, identified, climb flight level 350.
Climb flight level 350, Transavia 7 uniform.
ACS 902, descent level 100, level at 8 Saru.
100 at 8 Saru, at 902.
Langen radar, good afternoon. No shuttle 2 Whiskey Bravo with 115 climbing 120.
No shuttle 2 Whiskey Bravo, Langen, hello.
What's our progress now?
Climb flight level 300.
Climb to flight level 300.
463. 4,300 kilos of fuel. What's our fuel prediction telling us? So if we have to divert to Salzburg for any reason, we're gonna land on fumes, which is not great. So I must have ever so slightly got the fuel prediction page wrong today. But we'll land at Vienna with 1.4 tons of fuel, so that's plenty. If we get to 500 subs, what sort of group flight should we do? I'm happy to take any suggestions for routes and things like that. And if you guys haven't already as well, I'm just going to dig out my Discord server. I've created a Discord server thanks to a couple of you guys suggesting it. Just generating a link for that. And there's information about the model matching and things on there as well. There's a great METAR page, so you can add in charts and METARs for your own flights and get information for that. Yeah, see, I wish I had that Gaia Simulations Vienna Airport installed, but because it's payware, I've got a limit to what I can sort of budget and afford every month. And that one's it just pushed me beyond that. I've been on a little bit of a spending spree the last few weeks, buying extra monitor screens and things like that. So I've got a second monitor now. Thanks to Alex Edwards on the chat. Which means that I can monitor all of you guys on the chat as well a lot better. But I can also now access all my charts on a separate screen.
2076, sorry, Austin 2573.
Contact Brussels on 141.
GA, yeah, GA might be good actually.
114, 914,
131.1, ciao.
Copy to 13.
Trying to think what we could do.
914, ciao.
Any suggestions? Any suggestions? Put it onto the Discord.
Identified direct Zulus climb flight level 2. Correction, climb level 3. 350 direct to Zulu, Lufthansa 5 empty architecture.
If you've got any suggestions, put it on the Discord server. There's a channel called Content Suggestions. Just drop me a note on there.
1608, Lufthansa cargo back to fixtures.
And it looks like we might be landing near sunset.
Airways 6 Alpha Juliet, dann kannst du schon mal ein bisschen am Computer rumspielen. Cleared Kerax 1 Alpha Arrival.
Let's have a little look.
Cleared Kerax 1 Alpha Arrival und wir sind am Spielen. Airways 6 Alpha Juliet, danke.
There's an aircraft down below us. The little the nav lights down there, just under our wing.
Langen Lufthansa 5 Juliet, back to request to 7.
Lufthansa 5 Juliet, Victor descent flight level 100.
Descent flight level 100, 5 Juliet, Victor.
Lufthansa 6 Papa Mike, Montrenicom, bye-bye.
Telecom 122.8, Lufthansa 6 Papa Mike, bye.
Yeah, something like that would be quite cool. I wouldn't mind doing like a Greek island tour.
Hello, return.
Especially some of the islands, like
Lufthansa 8 Romeo Charlie with you, flight level 110, climbing 130.
Syros and Naxos.
Lufthansa 8 Romeo Juliet, Langen Alloy, identified, climb flight level 340.
They're tiny islands.
Climb flight level 340, Lufthansa 8 Romeo Charlie.
But they are also they're nicely close enough, so you can still get between the two quite quickly.
500 for flight level 110.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I do like that idea.
Climb flight level 270.
270, Easy 45 Papa Golf, good evening. Passing to flight level 100 to flight level 140.
Easy 54 Papa Golf, Langen identified, climb flight level 300.
So I might have to plan that then. I've got a way to go before I get to 500 subscribers. I need to get to 400 yet.
Descent flight level 160. Lufthansa 93 Delta, descent flight level 160.
But I am trying to get there, and then I'd have to do something even bigger if I get to 1,000 subscribers.
Confirm level 160 bitte.
Lufthansa 93 Delta, sorry, mein Mic hat sich auf Mute geschaltet, 160.
Delta Charlie, Alpha Victor Hotel, Montrenicom, tschüss.
228, Delta Charlie, Alpha Victor Hotel, tschüss.
Unicom should be us next as well, which we've already got in the standby frequency box.
ACS 902, contact arrival 120 tschüss.
So interestingly, this should be happening, so this is good. The fuel prediction tab, which is a dynamic page, it's recognising the fact that as we burn fuel, we're actually getting lighter, and therefore we burn less. The lighter we are, the more efficient the aircraft is going to fly, especially at the higher altitudes. And you can see there that fuel on board, estimated when we land at Vienna, has actually now increased to 1.4 tonnes. And it will probably increase further, because when we descend, we're going to have the engines at a lower thrust setting, possibly idle at some points as well. So we'll be burning, instead of burning 882 kilograms an hour per engine, we'll be burning even less. And then that will naturally give us more fuel to divert to Salzburg if we need to. So that 0.3 there, it will probably become 0.5 or so by the time we arrive at Vienna, I would imagine. And it looks like we're gearing up to land just around sunset or just after sunset, which would be quite nice. We're just over 300 miles to go, so over halfway.
Ryder 1536, Langen identified, climb flight level 300.
Climb 300, Ryder 1536.
Lufthansa 228, descent level 160.
Descending flight level 160, Lufthansa 228.
Lufthansa 93.
So I wouldn't pay for Hey Chris, welcome. I wouldn't pay for the any A320 add-ons, and I definitely wouldn't pay for Gatwick now that we've got an amazing freeware version of Gatwick.
Ryanair 908 Foxtrot Zulu, climb flight level 360.
I would pay good money though for a 757, a 777 or an A350. There are my big three that I want. Study level, of course.
Lufthansa correction, Ryanair 908 Foxtrot Zulu, climb flight level 360.
Yeah, William, that's when you're not.
Romeo, contact Brussels on 131.1.
That's when you're not turning the stick left or right to stop yourself tipping over as you land as well. That's one of the most annoying things with the 747. You touch down and then it's almost as if you're tipping over.
Climb flight level 380.
Climb 280 on Shuttle 2 Whiskey
Bravo. All the times I've sat in the back of the flight deck for landing on a 747, that's never happened once in real life. So I'm not quite sure where they've got the modelling wrong for the jumbo jet in this. And it is a shame because it'd be amazing to fly, even for like mid-haul. The 757 for me is nostalgic. I would pay over £100, £200 for one of those.
Climb flight level 370.
Climb level 370 or KLM 5547.
Are you using the latest Salty Sim mod, Will?
Langrider, good evening. Lima Papa 9er, Quebec 9er.
Yeah, so I didn't have the Salty Sim mod initially.
Lima Papa 9er, Quebec 9er, this TDM 930, flight level 095, request transition to Charlie.
Yeah, I didn't have the Salty Sim initially, but I know they've just released a new stable version.
Yeah, you're not inside of my space. You should be with Bremen Radar, but Bremen
so
Radar is not doing Sunday shifts. So
have to reload and have a little look at that.
Okay, thank you. Monitor Unicom. Bye bye. Langen schönen guten Tag.
Yeah, Chris, it's odd. I've never had any problems with Pushback Express until today, and I'm not sure why. I noticed when I spawned, the rudders were doing what they're doing now. And I couldn't work out for the life of me why. And every now and again, as it's doing now, all of a sudden we'll get severe yaw problems. And you can see the ailerons are fighting the yaw input to stay straight.
Langen Radar, good afternoon. Speedbird 109, flight level 370, inbound Quebec.
Speedbird 109, Langen identified. Ryanair 908 Foxtrot Zulu, contact Brussels 131.1.
Contact is Boston 131.
We're almost, once we get to Vemut, we have one waypoint and then we'll be starting a descent. So we're not too far away now. And the rest of it will become quite busy. We'll have lots to sort of plan and do through the descent as well. I'm hoping Vienna Tower is still online. That would be quite cool. In fact, I might be able to pick them up now. Okay, doesn't look like they are.
Level 390.
My controls are definitely calibrated.
Flight level 360.
I checked in before I started the trip just to make sure as well, because I thought with the flight model changes I didn't want there to be issues with calibration, so I've checked all those at the beginning. And then I checked the sensitivity and I changed the dead zones as well once we started taxiing. Taxiing was really difficult and I'm not sure why. So I'm going to see if
Berlin 6 passenger descent level 110 level at Kerak.
ATIS.
Level 110 level at Kerak,
I think
they've
gone offline. But one way to find out is you can use this. Once you get that company message, if the tower's on, there'll be ATIS. So this will have information in it. Once we load the message, if there's no tower, then it will just be blank. Yeah, so there we go. Tower's offline currently. Vienna.
Long radar, low Ryanair 2216, flight level 350, inbound, put it.
10, climbing 4130.
Eurotrans 6718, Langen identified, climb flight level 300.
Oh God, I love how you're warning me now. I've never had that issue before.
Unicom KLM 5547, good day.
Langen Radar, good day. Blue Air 329 of flight level 17.
Yeah, your short finals, you tend to favour 3 or 4 red at that point anyway. Because the glide slope then is sort of pushing you away from the threshold.
Whiskey transition, descent 4,000 feet.
We'll give it a go.
And squawk 1027, Blue Air 329.
I mean, we managed to take off with hard right rudder to try and keep straight, so we'll see what happens on landing.
1027, sorry.
I might have to fly it manually for longer, just so I can get used to the feel of it, with the rudders acting up. How have we got there? So we've got Abudo Budex.
Langen Radar, good afternoon. KLM 1603 with you, flight level 250.
And then Ballad is the start of our star.
Langen identified, climb level 370.
Lovely.
370, KLM 1603.
Lufthansa 8 Romeo Juliet squawk 2.
Love the sunset in the sim. Although at this rate we might be landing at night time.
Yes. Easy 45 Papa Golf, contact Brussels control on 131.1.
Nice ramp 1, see ya.
Low 34, monitor Unicom.
Fuel prediction. Center of gravity.
Lufthansa 5 Yankee, monitor Unicom.
Unicom, Servo, 5 Yankee.
Speedbird 548, monitor Unicom.
Monitor Unicom, Speedbird 548, choose.
Lufthansa 520 with you, climbing to flight level 110.
Lufthansa 520, Langen identified, climb flight level 300.
Climb flight level 300, Lufthansa 520.
Look at that.
Long radar, hello Ryanair 2216, flight level 350, inbound, put it.
Ryanair 2216, Langen Wine identified. Swiss 3510, monitor Unicom 2.
Yeah, 2 red, 2 white. I was stressing with that when I was doing the circuits live stream, so I was testing some ground proximity warning system mods and changes to that, and I had to. I was doing a touch and go, which was I buttered, if I say so myself, and then I did a go around, then a final landing, and I was stressing like hell. Doing a live stream with that, because I had to compete with 3 perfect approaches with 2 red, 2 white, capturing the glide slope correctly, but it seemed to go okay. But it was 55 minutes of pure pressure. And there is a new master coming soon.
Currently at level 350 inbound.
Well, the way the masters work, I should say, every single time a PR is approved by the development team, once they approve it, it feeds into the master automatically. So that could be updated 4 or 5 times a day sometimes. The master, the stable, I think version 5 or 0.5, I believe. I know they're aiming to get that released as soon as they can, but basically the way that works, from my understanding of testing these things anyway, is that when I look at GitHub, when I'm looking at PRs to test, they will have certain ones that will be flagged as a milestone for version 5 or 0.5, and once they reach all of those and they're all approved and working correctly, then everything then will go into the master, all of those that are approved, and then everything at that point, once the milestones are hit, everything in the master will then become the stable, if that makes sense. That's I mean, I'm not very technical, so that's probably the best I could explain that. Well, we've got Vemert, Abnod. Have we got any more tower controllers? Brussels, Bremen, Amsterdam, and Euro West, which isn't covering us. I'm going to give it a go, landing with the rudder being problematic. I'll just see what happens. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to go direct to Budex, I think. Now we're on Unicom. So direct to Budex. There we go. Yeah, the masters have been pretty good. Generally everything to go into the master will have been tested by one of us guys, one of the QA team, at least 2 or 3 times, and then we have to write a report on that PR to basically explain everything that we found, everything that went well, and all of the problems as well if there were any issues, and then the issues get addressed and then we retest again to see if they've been fixed, basically. So there can be a lot of work for the development teams and the guys like Chris that are creating all of these PRs for us to test. When it gets a bit darker, I'll put it up to public vote for you guys. Did you want me to just leave it on live time, or do you want me to rewind the time a little bit so we land in Vienna with sunset, or at least some sort of daylight? Cheers for tuning in, Chris. Thanks for your work. Take care. Yeah, it does take a lot of hard work. I find that I'll finish work and then I'm trying to balance home life and also fitting in at least one full flight to test. And I will test everything from cold and dark, and I'll run a full flight with a proper route and everything on VATSIM, because in my mind this is going to be a study level aircraft, and although I'm not an A320 pilot in the real world, I've tried to understand it as in depth as I possibly can, and I will then run a test with a full flight, because that's how study level aircraft are used, especially on VATSIM and IVAO. People want the immersion of it being realistic, so I will run the tests with as much detail as I possibly can, really. Streamlabs, I can't find any option other than 1080p either. I think it potentially depends on data connection as well, but then I'm uploading with a fairly decent fibre broadband speed, so I'm not quite sure. But I don't think there is an option for us. Thanks. It's voluntary. I asked to be a QA, and for me, because I asked to be a QA, I sort of put the time and effort into it, and I sort of enjoy it as well. If anything, it's a bit of an excuse to get onto the sim and actually do some full flights, and I link it in with my flights with virtual airlines and things as well, so it's quite enjoyable. I'll leave it on real time then, unless anyone's got a strong desire for it to be daylight when we land in Vienna. I'll leave it and just see how we go. I might have to change it to daylight when we land because the sim is still pretty poor at night lighting on the airports, so it could be quite difficult to taxi. But we'll give it a go. Trying to catch the sunset as best as I can. Those of you who recently tuned in, welcome. We're not too far away from Vienna now. And unless there's preference otherwise, I'll be landing in live time, so it'll be night time by the time we descend and get down. Yeah, so you don't really want any bugs at all, really. I would love to review add-ons, but the only one I really review is Pushback Express, which I paid for, and that's pretty good. For VATSIM, it's a lifesaver, except for today when it didn't work. But I'm pretty sure that's not the Pushback Express that's causing the issue, because it's only happened with this PR. Capture that in the window. Whoo-hoo-y, look at that. I love the mechanics that they've built in. So as we move into night time, I love how then we can see all the stars above us with a clear sky. Night lighting from this altitude is really good as well. I'm not sure, you know what, Rob? I'm not sure if I will buy the CRJ. I love the bigger airliners. So for me, it's an absolute must that I get something like the 757. I have to have a 777. I need one of those desperately. And I really want an A350, and I'll pay for those three. I'm not sure if there's something, perhaps something will come out that will really tickle my fancy. Yeah, if they built artificial intelligence into the Pushback Express, where you could maybe label the stand you're at, because there's a setting at the moment where you can go on and add. Good luck, William. I know there's a setting on Pushback Express where you can dictate how many meters before you turn, but I prefer the rudder control. If they built like AI into it that could read the ground around you and push you perfectly onto the yellow line, then that'd be a game changer. There'll be no other mod for Pushback like it. There goes the sun. Love the sunset in the sim. Yeah, I've not tried Pushback Helper. Being free, it's obviously a lot cheaper and probably better in the sense because it is freeware. The only thing that I can notice there being a difference with Pushback Express is currently the ground equipment that you can spawn and use all of those with Pushback Express. I'm not sure if you can do that with Pushback Helper. But with Pushback Express you can tug the aircraft forwards as well, which is quite cool. Yeah, Philbert, do you use Navigraph by any chance? I haven't purchased Navigraph yet, but everybody's been telling me to purchase it, and they say it's a bit of a must-have. So those the people that I've spoke to that have got Navigraph have said it's exceptional. But I'm not sure if I want to spend £80 on maps every year, maps and charts. I'm not sure if it's really within my sort of budget, or if I can justify it. So I use SimBrief normally to plan my routes, and I've noticed that without using, without having Navigraph, the routes that I generate is they're all very invalid now, for some reason. I'm not really sure why. What do we reckon? Shall we fly the Star as it is, or in absence of tower, shall we just have a little look at vPilot? Okay, so there's no tower or approach or ground or anything at Vienna, so shall we make straight in and sort of cut all of that Star out, or shall we do as we're supposed to and just fly that Star in absence of ATC? I'm happy to do either. My preference personally would be to fly the Star. Yes, that would be the big one actually. I was tempted to purchase the £30 SimBrief, or the £30 API Navigraph package, but then from what I was reading, it wasn't really going to give me very much. It was just going to give me up-to-date. It was going to give me up-to-date information in the FMC, but then beyond that, it wasn't going to give us enough data really, and I can't use it to plan routes with a £30 package. Let's dim these because they don't work. They're blank, so less light in the flight deck's only a good thing. Yeah, we'll fly the Star. Do it properly. I've read with Navigraph as well, I've read that we can, it tracks your position on the ground as well, and you can see the aircraft's exact position on a map. So taxiing around the airfield, I've heard that's a lot simpler as well. I'm just going to have a quick look at these constraints, so I can work out our descent. So Ballad is what we want, and that's blank. So one of the issues, and I would imagine, so constraints work. I've been testing those, although we don't have proper VNav yet, so that's the only sort of thing that sets us back. So Ballad, we have to be above 8,000. Oh, and there's me saying, oh yeah, it works, it works. It was working the other day, although I'm not sure actually if it's still in testing actually. I've got a feeling it might be. If it's not in here, which is synced to the master, then it will still be in testing. But I was able to, in a test the other day, I was able to enter the constraints manually, and then the autopilot would respect the constraints as well. So if I flew in, it was on the Miami to Turks and Caicos live stream actually, so it was just a few days ago, so it probably is still in testing. If I set 2,000 feet on the FCU but had a constraint of say 6,000 there, the autopilot would go down to 6,000 feet and then level off until after that waypoint, and it would keep respecting the constraints all the way down, which is really cool. But at the moment it doesn't look like that's factored in properly. What was that RadNav page that I wanted to update? ILS 1104. So that's going to be the VOR for the missed approach. Oh dear. 1104. And there's me clicking the wrong button, looking at another screen, and I've wiped out ILS data. But no problem. 1085 is the ILS for runway 16. So 1085. Course 160. So that's interesting, that hasn't gone in. So what I might do is just reselect this Lowy ILS 16 Buddha 1 Whiskey via Ballad. I'll just make sure this doesn't change. I'm going to go direct to Tempter as well now. Direct to Tempter. And I'll just cut out that little weave that we're doing there. And the RadNav page 1085 has gone back in, but interestingly enough our course of 160 is showing 0000. So I've got a strong feeling that the ILS approach isn't going to work out for us here, but we'll give it a go. Let's descend now to 8,000. Let's just see what happens here. There's another way for me to tell based on what was happening on the test the other day with the RadNav page. There's a way for me to sort of see if it was implemented properly or not yet. And I'm going to quickly get onto my Discord server. And I'm going to request a METAR for Vienna. Where are we? METAR's charts. .METAR low. So this has given us 140 at 10 knots. Let's put all this in. We're using Unreal Weather, so it will be pulling the very latest METARs and generating the weather into the sim via that. So QNH 1027. The temperature at Vienna is just a balmy 5 degrees. Dew point is -4. Mag wind 140 degrees at 10 knots. And the transition altitude on the charts, pretty sure, just double check, pretty sure it said 10,000. Yeah, transition altitude of 10,000. So we'll go by the charts. And we'll do decision height of 100 foot above the ground. So we'll use rad out. It's worrying me that that's not changing. But hey ho. The aircraft might not always work. We'll have to we have to sort of work out how to deal with it the best we can. We want, let's put the seatbelt signs on, and the sim being the sim, we need icing on. As well. The FLAI stuff's going on nicely as well. I've just had a little look at some updates to that on a server. That's good to hear, Charlie Demos, thank you. I've got to the point sometimes I just you sort of expect the sim to just break and then you're ready for anything. But we are into our descent now. Might need a bit more of a steeper descent as well. We'll go for sort of 3 degrees. And everything else is ready to go. All of our approach page and everything's done. Loads of fuel. So that fuel prediction there has gone up. It's actually gone to 1 tonne of fuel and 2.2 tonnes. So 1 if we divert to Salzburg, and we should land with about 2. It'll probably be 2.5 tonnes by the time we get down, or more to be fair. And all of that light plume in the distance is Vienna. Just have another quick look on vPilot to make sure we haven't got any air traffic control to worry about, and currently we don't. We're on Unicom, so we still have to, especially we just saw that pop-up tooltip there, we know there's an aircraft on the ground at Vienna. So we still need to do position reports and things as well. Okay, so there's an Olympic Airlines behind us. V in traffic, Speedbird 548, inbound temperature for a Ballad 5 Lima arrival, runway 16 ILS, descending flight level 255 for flight level 80. Wonder if we can see that guy. So I'm just looking for some nav lights. Can't see any. So there's an aircraft that's arriving possibly around the same time as us. So this is where on Unicom you still have to coordinate with aircraft around you. You can't just sort of like, is that him there? No, just a weird light bug. It's the first time I've flown at night actually, with all of this, and it looks pretty good, I have to say. Let's do speed. I'm sure, haven't you, where have you been before, Rob, where I've touched down and you've been on the ground? It was only a few streams ago as well. I'm trying to think off the top of my head where it was as well. I can't remember. but I'm sure, was it Munich or somewhere? I'm really looking forward to, I think, is it Gaia Sims? They're building Munich, or someone's building a Munich payware. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be incredible. What is that? Okay, so it's just some floating lights. That's the only thing with the sim. Now they've put in this light plume below us. All they are floating lights, and it's a little bit off-putting. So I spent a little while thinking that there's an aircraft, but it's not. Commentator, good to see you again. Welcome back. Look at that fiery sunset, just hitting the tail end of that sunset. Nice one, thank you for that, thank you for checking. Vienna off there on the 10 o'clock, relative to our nose position. Balad 40 miles away. So we're fairly on track actually for, it's above 8,000, so we're on track. As long as we're on that extended downwind leg, 5,000 feet, we should be good. So we just monitor everything as we go. Did it crash to desktop freeze, or was it a just sort of freeze, micro stutter, and then it sort of threw you off a little bit? So I need to turn the landing lights on. Seatbelt signs are already on, and we'll wait for 10,000 for the landing lights. What was the QNH that we set? 1027. So I'm actually going to go ahead and prepare that now, so the altimeter doesn't jump too much. You guys should definitely try the UK 2000 Bristol scenery. That's really nice actually. But again, it's payware. It's a very small airport. The only issue with that is there is never much tower coverage there. It's not particularly busy, but it's a lovely little airport to fly out of on the sim. Yeah, it's a good idea actually, Rob. I might work on that as well over the next few weeks. Gatwick will be in the top 3, definitely. That Gatwick mod. Oh, that's really weird. Maybe it's an issue with the Salty Sim mod. I need to try the Salty Sim mod. I keep putting it off and delaying it, and it's not really. I should give it a go. Let's turn these lights off. Keep this immersive lighting and do a bit of legs. We'll leave that off. Do we want pedestal lighting? Nah, let's leave that off. We need constraints on. What's it giving us here? 6,000. Oh, oddly enough, it's loaded itself back in again. And they are the correct constraints as well. So 8,000, above 8,000, and then we're aiming for 6. I think, off the top of my head, directly ahead of us is Salzburg, but I can't quite remember. I'm sure it's south of Vienna. Vienna's a beautiful city. If you've ever had a chance to go in real life, really nice place. So I'm just killing this descent slightly because we are about to punch below 10,000. I want our speed to drop off so that we're below 250. So we're timing that nicely by the looks of it. We need landing lights on. and then we'll go back to do minus 1400 foot per minute. Just going to turn down that standby primary flight display, and we're below that transition altitude, so we need to go to the local QNH, which is 1027. I didn't know that, so I'll need to have a little look at Copenhagen then. The Oslo freeway is quite nice. Is that Vienna? That looks like Vienna. No, it's not. It is Vienna, so there's Vienna off in the distance, guys. A lot further than it looks, and oddly with the constraints and things, it's we're actually flying in quite low. Yeah, I find these zigzag approaches really common across Germany and Austria. But they're really good when it's busy. So when you're flying in on some events, I did Munich a couple of weeks ago, I think it is, a massive Munich overload event on VATSIM, hundreds of aircraft flying in, and all of these zigzag stars were perfect for that.
Continue taxi to runway 16 via Lima.
Definitely click that off, so I'm not sure why that's back on. Yeah, the Oslo freeway is good. It's not anywhere near Gatwick level of sheer accuracy and detail, but it is really nice still to fly into. Make sure that terrain radar's on. And we'll just do 250 knots, shall we? Those of you tuning in, welcome. We are just about to fly the Star on our approach into Vienna. Those of you who haven't tuned in before, make sure you click the subscribe button down below and join me as a frequent flyer on my journey to 400 subscribers. I would agree, Manchester is awful in the sim. It's quite disappointing actually. Commentator, am I right in saying that the new Istanbul airport hasn't even been included yet? In fact, on that topic, I remember when the sim was launched, I wanted to fly Gatwick to Malaga, and I couldn't because Malaga airport didn't even exist in the simulator, even though it was like the main Costa del Sol airport in that region of Spain. So I had to send off a Zendesk report to get it all included, but I flew in a month or so ago into Malaga, and there was a block of flats at the end of the runway, so it's just been done really badly, and I kind of wish that they just left it off and didn't even bother. So potentially some smaller regional airports there on the outskirts of Vienna. Let's see, I've turned some of these screens down so it's a little bit more comfortable for the approach. I've not done a landing at night time in quite a while. I hope he speaks on Unicom as well. It tends to be that every time Unicom is in use, everybody goes to text chat, and for me, I like to still use my voice. And it just keeps that level of immersion by doing that. So I hope he does. He shouldn't be closing in. If he's below 10,000 though, he should be doing 250 knots, so he shouldn't be gaining he shouldn't be catching up with us. Unless he's cutting corners. I'm not sure what his flight plan is. But he's saying he's using this same star, so we should be he should be an equal distance, keeping to the speed restrictions and things. Vienna traffic, Speedbird 548, 8,000 feet, passing Ballad. On a Ballad 5 Lima arrival for runway 16. Choridimos, are you flying into Vienna as well? Or are you on a different route somewhere else? The ground lighting does look amazing now in the new patches. You can see that rudder pedals kicking in again. I'm not sure if I can, if I turn the...
Vienna traffic, passing Whiskey 684 on Ballad transition, 5,000 feet, indicated speed 270.
What is that? Look at the rudder pedals now. Out of control. I thought I could see them flicking away. Whiskey 866 I think he said, didn't he? It is, yeah. Yeah, it is BA 548. Are you going to send me a message? I get the feeling that this guy in the TBM is actually really catching us up. And this is where, if we had TCAS, yeah, you read my mind, Dom. If we had TCAS, it would be perfect for this because he's around us somewhere, catching us up. And the worst case scenario is he overtakes us and tries to cut in front of us. Do it. Send me something nice though. I'll wait for that company message tab to pop up on the eCam. So now we can go to start descent 6,000. Let's have a little look. Icing's on. I'll leave that on until final approach because of the way the sim behaves. Seatbelt signs are on, landing lights are all on. Might flick the runway lights on as well, see what they look like from the outside. There's Vienna in the distance. Oh good. Normally you can see them, especially at night time. They're usually very, very bright, and you can. Normally you can sort of see them, but I can't see them for some reason. Oh, there we go. He's already lining up. He's over there somewhere. Lovely. That'll do. Let's have a little look. That's my call sign, BAW548. Which is what you've input, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Let's put approach phase on. Yeah. Or Lukla. Imagine trying to land a Cessna Caravan at Lukla at night time. You'd be going straight into the wall at the very end of the runway. So there's an aircraft taking off on runway 16. Shame we can't quite see him either, but he's taking off there somewhere. And we're at that 6,000 constraint altitude for the downwind leg. And I'll pop this back onto manage speed now as well. So the aircraft now with the auto thrust will drop us down to that green dot speed, and the auto throttle will spool up the engines to hold us at that speed now until I select flaps 1, and then the aircraft will allow us to slow down to the next speed. I'm nervous about these rudders. I know they're going to play up. So we're about to turn onto our downwind leg. Austria, Vienna Airport just off in the distance. We can see that guy taking off actually there, look. See his strobe lights. I hope it looks good from the tower. What do the other constraints tell us? So we commit task downwind, and then we want to descend to 5,000. What I'll then do is I'll vector the aircraft manually myself to intercept the glide slope where it says FL16. Vienna traffic, Speedbird 548, entering downwind, left downwind, ILS 16. So we're going to want auto brake low, spoilers armed.
Traffic turning base in around 8 miles for runway 16.
So he's over here
675.
somewhere. And I'm just going to get my ground charts ready. So there's the ILS chart. I'll just remind myself of the missed approach. If we have to go around, climb straight ahead to 5,000. At DME 10, OEZ turn left to FMD. We track the VOR and hold there pending ATC. But we haven't got any ATC, so we would missed approach, and then we would just keep going back, route ourselves back round to rejoin the ILS. Very briefly, is the ground charts for Austria, Vienna's airport. And we're going to land runway 16. No. Embarrassing myself. We're landing this way. That's runway 16. There's aircraft there. Quickly pop away actually to you guys. So that aircraft that's just departed Vienna, he's just passed in front of us. Where's he gone? And now he's disappeared, brilliant. Anyway, descend to 5,000. So I'm going to plan to come off come off the runway about halfway, around here somewhere. In fact, that might be too early, looking at the charts. So around here, Bravo 8 or Bravo 9, and then we taxi back on Echo all the way to the stands, and we'll just park up somewhere near Pier East, which is with a red pen. We'll park up one of these stands here, if there's one free. And in the meantime, I'll leave the ILS charts on for myself to make sure I don't muck up anything. So I've got Outstar, yeah, the star is very long actually. It's almost been about 15 minutes or so just flying the star on itself. What else do we need to do? Cabin crew in the seats. And I'll turn the icing off now. I'll leave wing icing on, just in case. We can drop this down to 10, and we can arm the ILS modes. So I've got spoilers armed, lights on, seatbelt signs on. We've done the cabin crew in the seats, auto brakes on low. Yeah, we had a little vote and decided to just fly the star instead. What I will be doing, once we pass Whiskey Whiskey 678, between the next waypoint, I'm going to turn left and bring us into finals. The glide slope starts there at 5,000 feet anyway, so we're already at that altitude. Just going to try and... ah, brilliant. That didn't look like it was on its lowest setting.
Well, B675, localizer 16, established 15 miles out.
Yeah, blame Filbert. He's added 20 minutes to the flight. There we go. I mean, the guy in the TBM, the Olympic Airlines, he's still flying. But I still can't see him at any point. Just go flaps 1. The rudders are kicking in again. You can see us yawing left and right. Yeah. I think it's going to be an interesting landing with a broken PR file. It's not quite working properly for us. But we can try it. We'll try our best. We'll leave 5,000 set on the altimeter because on the FCU because that's our missed approach altitude. We'll go to managed heading and we'll now start to turn left. Vienna traffic, Speedbird 548, turning left base for ILS runway 16. So quick position report to let people know we're turning for our finals.
Speedbird 548, please be advised, B675, we have approach speed around 100 knots.
Roger, what's your position, please?
I'm fully established 8 miles out.
Roger, thank you. So he's 8 miles, we are 20 miles. I still haven't been able to see him at any point, so I'm not sure why. Let's go. We'll start slowing down to our minimum approach speed now, so we get ourselves some separation. He should be able to land and get off the runway quite quickly in the TBM. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. I hope you guys heard the little ding dong as well. It took me ages to try and get that in. So I hope you guys heard that as well. Basically, whenever we get a new subscriber, we get the cabin call chime. So we are pretty much minimum approach speed now. Vienna traffic, Speedbird 548, established on the ILS runway 16, 15 miles, currently flying slowest approach speed, number 2. Oh, perfect.
Holby 75, 5 miles south, full established. 16.
There we go. So he's ahead of us.
In traffic, Lufthansa 1243, push and start up Foxtrot 23.
Is that you, Rob? The Lufthansa traffic? Let's go gear down so we can just sort of slow ourselves down. We're just going to fly as slow as we can for the guy in front, the Olympic Airlines flight. And we'll just fly the absolute slowest approach speed now, which is 132 knots. I'm sure he said his approach speed was 120 as well. So now we just need to wait for him to tell us that he's clear of the runway. Now let's get rid of the terrain as well. We know that we are all good on the glide. And we've got those volumetric lights thanks to the A32NX mod as well. I'm not sure why. I know that the open climb is a problem, so you have to set vertical speed mode. Seesaw. I'm not sure. I think it was a good guess. I thought it was you. So it looks like we're about 8 mile finals now. He should be down and on the ground. 10 miles. Exactly 10 miles finals. That's all looking good. Just turn them down a little bit. I'll turn wing icing off as well now. (3,400 feet). I don't want to jinx it, but it's looking okay so far. The rudder pedal issue, it might be a problem when we land, because if I don't quite have that offset rudder setting on the joystick or the rudder pedals, we might veer off to the left quite violently. And I hope that's not going to happen. So we're nicely on the glide slope, and laterally we're lined up quite nicely on the ILS as well. I'm not sure. I've never had that problem, so I'm not too sure myself what might be causing that. Have you checked things like centre of gravity and all that sort of thing to see if you've got a centre of gravity that's too far forward or anything like that? Just working my split screen so that I've got the ground charts up and ready to go as well. Coming up to 2,000 feet now, almost 1,500. Are you kidding me? 13467. Jesus. Brilliant. So
014, turn right, heading 130, descend 5,000 feet, clear the left runway 16.
information Alpha.
Right heading 130, descend 3,000, Austrian 21.
Vienna approach, good nub and Speedbird 548, short finals, information Alpha to land.
Speedbird 548, wind radar hello, 130 degrees, 7 knots, 16, clear to land.
Clear to land, Speedbird 548. He did. He picked his moment, didn't he? 1216. Thank you. I'll set that ready. Thank God for autopilot, eh? We'd have a second pilot to do this. 1,000 feet coming up. I can see this rudder pedal thing kicking in again now. We're yawing left and right. And the wind on the nav display is 128 at 7. And it's consistent. So this is the...
Radar, Airways Austrian 45 Charlie, information Alpha,
we'll see what happens.
Radar, good number identified. Expect ILS approach, runway 11.
Expect ILS approach, runway 11.
I'm going to go manual now so I can get the feel for the rudder.
Charlie cleared Ballard 3 kilo transition, descend flight level 120.
Cleared Ballard kilo 3 transition.
So I've probably got 30% rudder at the minute to the right to try and hold it, but it keeps throwing me left. Good grief. This rudder is hard.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Not a great landing. Not quite centre, but we're down. I'm trying to get hold of the rudder. There we go. So that I'm back to about 50% right rudder. Oh, and that's if I centralise it. And I can't see a damn thing on the ground. I can see a yellow line there. God, they're efficient, aren't they?
Option 014, 130 degrees, 7 knots, runway 16, clear to land.
Butter the bread. Veen ground, good nub and Speedbird 548, clear of runway 16, request taxi to the gates.
Speedbird 548, Veen ground, good evening, taxi via taxiway Echo and Lima to stand Delta 26.
Taxi via Echo and Lima stand 26 for Speedbird 548.
It's Delta 26 for you, Speedbird 548.
Delta 26, thank you, Speedbird 548. I might put it on to daylight so I can actually see where the hell we're going. Let's have a little look. What lights and things do we have? I'll zoom. Cool. So that's Delta, and that purple line there will be Echo. I mean, I've got 90% right rudder, and we're barely turning. I hate taxiing on the ground when it's like this. An airport is never this dark. Thank you, Trudamos. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys all tuning in and watching. Oh, there goes the rudder again. I'm definitely going to uninstall this test file, that's for sure.
Servus, Lufthansa 122 with you at stand Delta 2. With information Alpha, requesting Alpha clearance to Cologne.
There's Rob, off to Cologne.
Lufthansa 122, being ground, schönen guten Abend. You are cleared to Cologne via the Medix 2 Bravo departure route. Runway 16, initial climb 5,000 feet, and your squawk is 4616.
Second left.
Cleared to Cologne via the Medix 2 Bravo departure, runway 16. Initial climb 5,000, squawking 4616, Lufthansa 122.
Lufthansa 122, read back correct, report ready for startup and push.
This is the second left here, according to the charts, and yeah, no puppies. I don't know why. A lot of the major airports, when they've done their auto generation, the puppies just aren't there, and I'm not quite sure why. But it is disappointing. We'll pretend they're 2 red and 2 white though. And now apparently I have to find stand Delta 26 in pitch black. Cheers, Chris. Welcome back.
Lufthansa 1243, contact Wien radar 12134.675, bye-bye.
It's odd, isn't it? Because night lighting is so important.
124.675,
yet they've not bothered actually implementing it in any way, shape or form. So this strutty thing here that's poking out, that's Pier East, or Pier Ost, and we want the second stand off this taxiway Lima. Now we also have to find Rob, who's on the ground somewhere. APU is available. Says Pier Ost, and we can sort of see the air bridges kicking out, and it's not the one that we can just see there, it's the one after it, I believe. So it looks like this here. It's so tricky on the ground. Delta 24. It looks like it's not actually been built into the sim. but I'm going to say it's here. This little one here. And that looks like that might be Rob. Oh, hold on, was it Delta 26? I've gone past it, haven't I? Hey, I know what we can do.
Austrian 014, schönen Nachmittag via Echo.
That's what these are for, right?
Mike and exit 7 to stand Fox 37.
Yeah, a little bit more. What on earth? Right. I was looking at Delta 24 on the charts, but we're at Delta 26, which is this one. So we'll pretend we didn't do that. Oh dear. It doesn't help that I can't really turn right properly either. So we're going really wide. The controller's going to be like, what is this guy doing? There we go.
Station calling Vienna ground, taking your call sign, your loudness is very low.
See, we're meant to do that. Park brake. Engine 2 off. Engine 1 off. And beacon. Seatbelts. And let's see if we can, if we get pushback express out. We should be able to spawn baggage.
Custom 321, radio 5
there he is. Catering. And there he goes. And power truck. There he is. And especially for you, Rob, I'm going to come over and have a little look at your little Lufthansa disco that's going on. Very bright tail, but this is it is being worked on, so watch for another video soon where the FLAI models have been tweaked a little bit more. But there you are, Rob. It's a stand Delta 22, I think, isn't it? And there's our baggage guys working away for the turnaround. Yeah, party mode. Off to Ibiza though. There we go, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you haven't done already and you're new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button. Find me on Discord as well, and join our Discord server where you can give me feedback and raise some suggestions as well. If you guys want specific routes covering, then let me know and we can fly them on the sim. As always, thank you for watching, and hope you guys have enjoyed today's live stream. And I'll see you guys soon for another live stream in the near future.
Austrian 321, you are clear to Budapest via the Adama 1 Bravo departure route, runway 16, climb initially 5,000 feet, and your squawk is 4602.
Clear to Budapest via Adama 1 Bravo departure, runway 16, mission climb 5,000 feet, squawk 4602, Austrian 321.
Austrian 321, report correct, report ready for start and push.
Report starting to Austrian 321.